Good evening. My name is Robert Lytle, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the controversial issues of whether or not to pull the troops out of Iraq. As a nation, the war in Iraq has had a tremendous impact on both the civilians of our nation and military personnel. One of the most controversial issues in the past 7 years, or 6.5 years now, has been whether or not to pull the troops out of Iraq. As a United States Marine who served in both Iraq and Afghanistan, my feelings on this issue are quite simple. We need to stay in Iraq now and finish what we started. I'm proud to have the support of the nation behind us throughout the whole way. Some of my fellow Marines of the past and military brethren didn't experience that type of national support in places like Vietnam. I'm proud to say that though most Americans want this war to end right now, they still stand behind the troops. And we have no choice but to thank Americans for that. It's critical in the success in any war. Before the war, American citizens and military personnel in general, we took our freedoms and liberties for granted until that tragic day when America was hit hard by the reality that terrorism does exist, and it exists in mass quantity. U.S. citizens like never before band together and showed amounts of patriotism unseen and displayed by this country since the times of the Great Depression or World War II. Second World War. UN sources reported that Iraq harbored such terrorists as bin Laden and Mohammed Mossadegh. And those weapons of mass destruction that Iraq supposedly possessed posed a great threat on the security of not only America, but of the world. Intelligence sources suggested that the cowards that initiated this horrific attack on U.S. soil were based in Iraq. Being the proud nation that we are, we responded immediately by sending troops to the heart, or what we thought was the heart, of this condemned organization. When we arrived, we found something different though. The military soldiers, Army soldiers, Navy, corpsmen, and Marines alike can tell you it's a lot different scene than what's being displayed on the media here in America, over there. We found a leaderless nation, a nation that needed guidance. Men, women, and children seeking to attain a great democracy similar to that of ours. Then what we do, we fought long and hard, and we still are fighting to this day, when it's just now stabilizing. We fought long and hard with Iraqi policemen, soldiers, and politicians. We're doing this to help this nation prosper. We're trying to tell them and show them by leadership, because we as America are one of the leaders of the world, if not the world leader. And one of our models is we lead by example. So we're trying to show them. So that Iraqi squad has to pair up with that Marine squad or that soldier squad and learn how to patrol those streets. The police have to learn how to walk a beat. It's all starting from scratch over there. And that's why we're not finished at this time. The country has come a long way. You know, we have done a lot of great things over there, and Iraq has stood up in a lot of ways. But we still have a little further to go. The bottom line is, without U.S. help or U.S. assistance or America, Iraq will fall. It will fall. It's not a matter of when, it's not a matter of how, it's a matter of when. Iraq will fall, and we know how it's going to fall. It's going to fall by lack of support. And surrounding the borders and the country surrounding it does not support a democracy or the Western way of life. Iraq wants the Western way of life, so therefore, without us impeding on them bordering nations trying to invade Iraq and take control of it in this weakened state, Iraq will fall. And to me, all the blood that American soldiers, Marines, and corpsmen, Navy corpsmen have shed on those streets of Iraq and Afghanistan will be in vain. So I urge you, American citizens, do not let our nation's leaders pull us out of Iraq prematurely. For I, as a defender of America, as a Marine, would rather fight and die over there than have women, children, businessmen, and civilian, non-military personnel, American citizens, die over here because of our lack of preparedness and our lack of the suppression of terrorism. In order to do this, we're going to have to finish what we started. It's up to you to decide, but we need to finish what we started over there. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.